Hello everyone and welcome back to the fort. Today I'm going to take you on a very special free barn tour here at the Tri-Circle D Ranch. They have it posted at the front of the ranch, in front of the barn. Today it's at 12:30. This is a Saturday. So you might be able to ask a cast member if you don't see the sign to see what days they're going to be doing it. But today you'll have the special treat of coming along and joining us on the free barn tour here at the fort. Let's go. And you can see all the construction going on. This is April 6th, 2019.
You have to book those in advance?
All right, folks, welcome to Tri-Circle D Ranch. My name is Stacy. I've been working with horses for over 25 years. I've been at Disney since about August. I love it here. It's great. If you like horses, this is the place to be. Here at Tri-Circle D, we have three different kinds of draft horses. We have Percherons, Belgians, and Clydesdales. Most people recognize Clydesdales as the Budweiser horse. People tend to think those are going to be the biggest. They're actually not. They're one of the smaller. They're finer built. You'll notice when we walk down and we look at some of these, the wider ones are the Percherons and Belgians, and then the Clydesdales look about this wide in comparison. It's kind of funny. You're like, oh, these are all big horses, and you're like, well, these ones are definitely bigger. Walt's favorite horses were black Percherons. He loved them. They were his favorite, so he always had them. Walt loved horses. He forced his Imagineering team to ride horses and play polo with him. In here, if you've ever been in our lovely museum room, turn on the light. You can see here is a picture of Walt drawing a picture of his neighbor's horse. That was the first thing he ever used to draw, was that. He used to get paid to do it. Here are some different, the looks of our different horses. Clydesdales are not that wide. They look that's a
Two more steps.
Yeah. So this is our old 8-horse hitch with the calliope. If you've been to Fort Wilderness in the past, the calliope used to be in that room. It's currently being refurbished. It doesn't really work because it's a steam engine and it's very old wood. Steam and old wood. Over here is one of our show harnesses. That harness piece, though to a horse weighs almost nothing. To us, it is 60 pounds. Wow. To them, they're like, nah, we have a harness on, but it takes sometimes two of us to be like, and put it on. They're all very well trained with a head down here, where they all put their head about right here, and we just slide it right on. And sometimes they'll lift their heads up and put it in position for us. In here, you can see there's lots of pictures. We have the Headless Horseman. He comes and borrows some of our horses. Pony rides, Cinderella's carriages, all the special events we do, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they're big guys, so we have to feed them more than just grass and air. They can't live on magic alone, so we like to give them some hay. The draft horses in here all eat Timothy hay. That's kind of like the, what's a good analogy? Like the shredded wheat of horse food. And then there's coastal, and that's like, you know when you're bored and you're like, I need to eat something, but I don't want a lot of calories? That's coastal. We feed that to the ponies because they probably could live on air and magic if we just because otherwise they'd be hungry. So our horses here, this is the size of a draft horseshoe. So as you can see, this is quite big. The horses you see guys ride in movies, cowboy movies, that's about the average size of that. Well, let me turn that around so it's facing forward. So that's about the average size of that. So as you can see, there's a bit of a size difference. So the average horse you would ride is a horse that does what we call a working horse. So they pull carriages, they used to do all the pulling of the stuff when we did farming. And then last but certainly not least, a pony shoe. Not many of our ponies wear shoes. As you can see, they're a little bit smaller. They're just itty bitty. A little teeny tiny. Isn't that cute? Looks like it. I could catch it. I won't though because I won't catch it. And then, because horses' feet are always growing, they're like fingernails. So their feet are constantly growing. So we do have to get them trimmed every 6 to 8 weeks. Some horses it has to be 4 weeks. Some it has to be 12 weeks. Really varies on horse to horse. But we do have to pick out their feet every day because their feet are hollow. We pick out their feet to get out all the dirt, bacteria, stuff like that, and a little brushed off. There's a center part of their feet called the frog. That's like the nerve. So that they can feel that. So we brush that off. We don't pick it. But the outside of their feet, fingernails, you can't feel it. So we can just hammer those nails right in. And they can't feel it until you get up to their cuticle, which you don't hammer it in there because that would be mean. Then we have brushes. So this is a curry comb. You go in circles just like this, and it brings up all the dead skin and dirt. It's kind of like exfoliating. And then we brush it all off with this so that they look nice and shiny. It's about what we do for grooming. Oh, that's very loud. So we do have these for when you see our horses out at night. We are all about safety here at Disney, not just for our guests and cast members, but also for our animals. So we do have these little reflectors that we put on their legs so that everyone can see them. As you can see, some of our horses are black, and at night they're very difficult to see. You feel like that carriage is pulling itself, but it's not.
Disney magic.
Disney magic, right? It's like the one at the Haunted Mansion where you can't see the horse. Over here we have one of our Surreys. It's a Surrey with a fringe on top. It's one of my favorites because it's a Surrey with a fringe on top. If you've ever seen Oklahoma. Yes.
How much people can fit in there?
I think it's 2 people for every row.
Come here.
So it's 2, 4, 6, 8 people can fit in there. Usually it's 2 horses pulling it because that's a lot of weight. Although they can do it, we don't like to overstrain our horses. All of our carriages and wagons, even that hay wagon you guys will see later that looks really big, I can move it myself. And I'm 5'1", 130 pounds. And I can move it, so nothing here is really all that heavy. Once you put people in it, I probably couldn't move it anymore, but yeah, that's pulled by 2 horses. Let's go and look at some of our horses. Let's look at Rocky. Rocky is one of Walt's favorite breeds. He is a Percheron. He is quite large. He's a very tall Percheron. He is over 19 hands. He is one of our younger horses, but tell you what, he's got it down. He can do Main Street. He does parades. Every now and then the horsemen will borrow him, pulls carriages, pulls the hay wagon. He's a very good boy. He still has to fill out. So he's as tall as he'll probably get, but I bet you he'll get a bit wider. Like if we come over here and look at Flash, who is also a Percheron. Flash is our heaviest horse in the barn. He is a chunk. He is a chunk. He has a lot of personality. He likes to knock over, he knocks over his hay bale, his hay bin, steps on it like this, he puts it between his back legs and rolls it until the topper falls out, and then he eats all of his hay. Because they have a little feeder in there to help him eat slower, because otherwise they would eat like 3 bales a day and they would all be 3,000 pounds and useless. We don't want them too heavy because their feet, I mean, if you compare the size of their feet to their body, our feet in comparison to our bodies are bigger. Which sounds crazy. If you look at a horse's foot and how big its body is, our feet are bigger in comparison to our body size. So, we don't want them too heavy. Yes, kiddo?
Remember that biggest horseshoe?
Mm-hmm. That's how big his, he's wearing a shoe just like that, yeah. Anyone who has horses, you'll notice we use a toe clip on our horses. All of our horses walk with no regard sound or what they're doing with their feet. And they all walk and they do this. And they shove their shoes backwards. So we put the toe clip to keep their shoe on the front of their feet, otherwise their shoes would slide all the way back. Yeah? Okay, what other breeds do I have? Over here we have Rookie. Rookie is a Clydesdale. All my Belgians are gone, but that's okay. Rookie's a Clydesdale, so you'll recognize him from the Budweiser commercials. He's the same breed. As you can see, he's just built a bit finer than Flash. And he's not going to get any bigger or wider. He is actually falling asleep. Horses do lay down to sleep. So if you ever see a horse laying down, it's not dead, it's sleeping. Especially horses in captivity, because the only reason they don't lay down in the wild is because they'll get eaten. But our horses here know there's no natural predator that can take them down, which is why they're so brave, they're so big. Sometimes they forget they're that big, and I yell at them and they're like, but they're great. And as you can see, he's very relaxed. He's taking his little siesta. His lip is just hanging wide open. No regard for how he looks on his new Instagram pictures. And it's his ear. As you can see, the Clydesdales have the feathers on their legs. That's just how the breed's always been. In the colder weather, it would help keep them warm. Here, it's a little more of a challenge because it does hold moisture. So we have to be really, really cautious about them not getting infections and bacteria and fungus, but we're pretty on it all the time with our show. All right, if I can have everyone go ahead and put their cameras away, I'm going to take everyone for a really small little treat. We have to make sure our cameras are away. We are going to go see the new baby pony. I do ask that everyone is quiet. She might be ringing. No, everyone pull out their cameras again. So here is Jacob. Jacob often doubles as Angus. He has walked through Main Street with Merida on him. He is also a Clydesdale. He is just a very dark colored Clydesdale. He's the first really dark Clydesdale I've ever seen. Yeah. He is a big old gentle giant. Are you gonna lick the floor? Like, what's the plan here, Jacob?
I'm looking for hay.
Yes.
Named Jacob.
Really? That's pretty cool.
Here's his name.
All right, if you guys want to come up one by one, I'll turn it sideways so we can get pictures. Just know that he is big. He does shift his weight, and flies do land on him, and he does move his toes around. His toes are bigger and heavier than yours. So just watch your feet when you're near him. He would never mean to hurt anyone. He is by far the gentlest creature as he tries to eat my hand. He is the most gentle creature ever. If you do come up and pet him, we do ask that you either pet him on his shoulder or you pet him here on his cheek. We do ask that you don't touch his mouth for obvious reasons as he tries to lick and chew on my hand.
Remember? No.
All right, go ahead, girls. Come on
Let the
up.
girls go first.
Let the girls go first.
Head down. Like I said, they all have to head down here. I'm very.
All right, guys, so she took us backstage behind the rope and we saw a new pony, a new baby horse. Is it a pony or a baby horse? Anyway, the horse is 12 weeks old. She was 30 pounds when she was born, and she's named Lily after Walt's wife Lillian, and that was back there. So if you guys come, you might get a special treat of backstage pass, but no cameras and no video.
He's getting the short stick.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that free tour that we just showed you through the barn, the Tri-Circle D barn. Alright, we'll see you next time here at the fort. Bye!